Just with a line, connect them 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4.
Okay. All the way to the end?
All the way to the end. When you're done, just say, I'm done, and flip it over. Get out of here. Get out of here. What's your name again? Lisa. Lisa. All right.
I'm looking for a trick to it.
Rhonda's done. Holy guacamole. Tracy is still working?
I just had my glasses on.
Her vision was just frantic.
Yeah, you guys got
All
an easy
right.
one here.
So,
Mine's really
Teresa,
cluttered.
Teresa, we're going to put you out of your misery and just have you, yeah.
Oh,
Let's take a look at Teresa's. Now, it took Teresa the longest period of time. Again, no winners or losers here, but it just did. So, this was Teresa's. Now, there are 25 numbers here, and they're all just kind of willy-nilly, just unorganized, all over the place. So, I don't know, like this could maybe be your closet. You fling it open, sweaters, pants, dresses, black, brown, different sizes, that could be your closet. And it makes it hard to kind of make a decision and get going. Now, Rada finished second. Okay. Rada had the same 25 numbers, but hello, they're organized. Okay? So it makes it easier. All the shirts are here, all the pants are here, all the dresses are here. You can make faster decisions and get on with your day.
That's only in my store.
It's a good starting point, Rada. Now,
Full disclosure.
Lisa, she had less. Less is more. Less and organized. So imagine if you didn't have 10 pairs of black pants, some size 10, some 12, some 8, some old, some ripped, some with like a big fat cuff, a little outdated. If you didn't have 10 but you only had 2, imagine how more quickly you're able to get dressed, get out, start making money and doing business. All right? So, thank you, ladies. Thank you so, so much.
Good job, ladies.
Good job. Perfect. We always appreciate the volunteers.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you. So, that's just how organized and less is easier and simpler for your life, okay? Now, over the past 10 years, I have been inside hundreds and hundreds of clients' homes, offices, playrooms, bedrooms, closets, pantries, kitchens. And what I have learned is that almost without exception, they all share 2 things in common. One is they all have enough space. They really do. And they all have too much stuff. Almost without exception. Some people be like, oh no, well, you should come to my little Arlington place. And like, oh my gosh, you have that huge closet? You've got space. So again, figuring out, God bless, what is enough is really kind of clear as we go through. In our world, however, everything sort of works against us. It's like bigger, better, more, latest, greatest, bigger. Couple of stats to share with you which are pretty eye-opening. So, in the last 50 years, Americans' consumption of goods has doubled. 50 years is not that long for our consumption to have doubled. In that same period of time, 50 years, the size of the American home has tripled. McMansions, bigger, bigger's better. Show of hands. How many in here have at least one television at home? Put them up. All right, keep your hands up if you have more than 2 televisions at home. Keep your hands up if you have more than 3. That's a lot of hands. Thank you. Stats show that the average American home has more televisions than people living in the home. Nodding, she found me out. Everybody's comparing now. Also, 1 out of 10 Americans in the United States rents off-site storage. And that is the fastest growing segment of commercial real estate, off-site storage. They're everywhere. Now, of those 1 in 10 Americans, 65% of them have a garage. 47% of them have an attic. 33% of them have a basement. What does that suggest to us? We have too much stuff. Yeah. Another thing about too much is we have so much stuff that Americans burn, on average, 55 minutes a day looking for things they know they own, but they can't find. Right? That's almost an hour a day. How would you like to have that hour back? I mean, time is so precious and valuable, we can't afford to squander it. So, let me ask you to trust me for a moment. I'm going to take you on a little sort of virtual journey. I'd love for you to close your eyes, get real comfy in your chairs, and go with me on this little virtual journey, okay? Everybody comfortable? All right. We are going to Times Square, New York City. Anyone been there? You can raise your hands. All right.
This past weekend.
Hey, hey. All right. Well, close your eyes and get back there. And what did you see? Lights.
Lights.
Yes. Do you know that there are 6 square blocks of over 100 blinking, colored, scrolling, giant billboards? And sidewalks congested with throngs of people. You might see an elegantly dressed couple. You might see a homeless woman on the sidewalk. You might see the naked cowboy. Now, what do you hear? What do you hear in the middle of Times Square?
Cars beeping.
Honking, sirens, blaring. You also will hear those advertising audio messages blaring from those same billboards, because they talk now. And, I don't know, maybe you hear the laughter of some high school girls walking by. Maybe you hear the song of a street performer. How about, what do you smell in the middle of all this? Oh, the food. Yeah, maybe pizza from the corner shop or some fried dough sizzling up. Smoke. How about that acrid stench from the subway entrance? Oh, you get a whiff of that going by. Exhaust from a bus passing. Maybe too much cologne on the guy in front of you. What do you feel in the midst of all this chaos and confusion and noise? What do you
Anxiety, stress.
Exactly. That kind of like weird sensation of just feeling alone, even though you're surrounded by thousands of people, or just maybe that little tinge of distrust, and so you hold your purse a little closer, or just the adrenaline and the overwhelm from being in all that. So open your eyes, feel free. And this is what it looks like. And in a situation like this, and P.S., in so many areas of our everyday lives in this world, our senses are assaulted. And we get that feeling of overwhelm and suffocation and anxiety, and it's sort of paralyzing. And you can't feel productive, you feel stuck. So
We went to the bathroom in that McDonald's.
Just last week. That's hysterical. Excellent.
I love it.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Some people, a very small percentage of people, really do kind of like that's their jam. But I think if to visit, I think Marianne said to visit, sure, that's nice. But imagine just being like, that's just coming at you. It's drowning you. I challenge you to say it. I think it's drowning you on a daily basis.
I'll tell you, when you're 4'8" and all those
Exactly.
all those people, it was like I felt like I was even shorter than what I already am.
That's a lot. Now all that sensory overload, it finds us everywhere, even in our homes. Like, when did TV become like this? Where do you even look? Do you look at the guy in the middle, or the thing that's scrolling below, or the time that's flashing, or I don't know, which of the three pictures? Like, it's, your brain actually is unable to process this much multiple stimuli. So you end up just sort of floating around and sifting on top of the information. Nothing really, really sticks in. Yeah.
So now a question for you is then why would these, media companies do this? Because it is true, I never actually thought of that, but now looking at this, I'm like, yeah, what, I mean, this is why I don't watch the news anyway.
It's sort of like, sometimes with sales, they say, throw as much against the wall and see what sticks. Something here is resonating with everybody, but not everything is resonating with
Right.
everybody.
Yeah.
So I think they're just playing a numbers game and odds.
Wow.
But it's like ADD. It's very
Yeah, it's
very
interesting.
difficult. And then there's too much stuff. So this is an example of one of my clients' garages, and fun fact: 25% of people with 2-car garages cannot fit both cars in the garage.
Yeah.
They become on-site storage before we move to off-site storage. And think about the logic of this. Our vehicles cost, I don't know what, like $30,000, $60,000. We shove them outside in New England, in rain, snow, sleet, ice, branches falling. And inside the garage, it's just kind of like, sort of like a graveyard of broken stuff, no longer used stuff, old stuff, gross spidery stuff, that if you probably added it all up, I don't know, like $300 value,
Yeah.
and our cars are outside, right? So something to think about, when as we use our space, like what's kind of the ideal way to use it? Oh, there's the after. Bueno. Playrooms. So many choices. Now,
Yeah.
I know. So imagine being 4'8". Imagine being 2 feet tall and going in there. So my client Sarah's kids, 2 little kids, were totally overstimulated and overwhelmed. And they didn't want to be in the playroom unless she was there. And it was downstairs, and she was like, I can't do that. Now, our intentions are good. We love our kids. We want to show our love. We want to buy them things and not deny them. But the reverse kind of ends up happening. Too many choices, overwhelmed, they don't enjoy it. The United States purchases 41% of all the world's toys. That's a lot. Now, what percentage of children of the world live in the U.S.? Guesses? 5? Go down a little.
Wow.
3.1. The United States has 3.1% of the world's children. We purchase 41% of the world's toys.
Oh my God.
Gobsmacked. Yeah, like it's just, yeah. So when we cleaned this room up,
Oh my gosh.
I hauled away 1.5 carloads of donated toys and games and such. Sarah sold a couple of items online, the higher value stuff. Awesome. And, the kids go down there now without her. They feel more comfortable. They play with things more kind of completely. It's not just, touch this, blah. Now, it doesn't always look like this at the end, but you know what? It always looks better than it did. And it's a win. So, it's just, the kids are happier, Sarah's happier. Now, also the bar is set artificially high. Somehow we've become convinced that we need the designer bag. We need the Gucci shoes. We need a closet full of designer leggings. What? We're not Mariah Carey. So, and what ends up happening too is when you fling your closet open, it's a thing called decision fatigue. What do I even go to? Like, there's so much. And the truth is, we wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time. You will see me almost all the time in my black skinny jeans. I wear these things to death. Sorry if you've seen them before, I don't care. I love them and I wear them. Because we've got our go-tos, our
Yes.
faves. I bet in your heart of hearts, you know that's true too. So why have all the other stuff in the way? Because it's a bargain? Oh, I heard that. I heard that. Yes. A good deal is never a good deal unless you're really going to use it, wear it, and you love it. You know, otherwise it just becomes in a graveyard full of good deals. Yes.
So that actually brings up a good point, right? So if you're out shopping, and especially now is the holidays, so everyone's out shopping, trying to find that perfect gift for someone, and you go to some place like a TJ Maxx or a Marshalls, where, I mean, talk about sensory overload, there's like, you know,
I love it.
prices,
Everything's
this, blah, blah.
beautiful.
So like, how do you recommend someone kind of keep their cool, especially in the holiday season with, you know, navigating the stores and understanding the difference between a bargain, right, or clutter?
Yes, so first and foremost,
Can I say something?
Of
What
course.
she says?
yeah.
I was the same thing. I'm like was a shopaholic, and I was taught by my adopted mom because I hated shopping. So I dated a guy, and your answer when we went shopping, he goes, "Do you really need it?" And I went, "No," because then don't buy it. I went, "Oh." So every time I went shopping, I go, "Do you really need it?" And that
You
stopped me
might
from
want
buying
it, you might
So-
love it, you might be
Well,
like,
that's
well,
the
Do you
problem.
need
Well,
it?
gets
Yeah,
in the
like,
way,
do you need
and
it? And that's when I'm
Yeah.
like, no. Like
Yeah.
then I go away. So I mean, you probably have something better.
Yep, that's all right, I wanna go here, yes.
I
Thank
think
you.
about how much I would get for it if I had a yard sale. It's
Mhm.
like 25 cents, because I
Mhm.
probably will get rid of it if I'm not using it.
Mhm.
True.
And so I'll buy it.
That's a good point.
Right, yes, Rhoda.
I teach my customer to play chess with every item that they buy. So make at least 3 moves is worth it. If you cannot make 3 moves, don't buy it.
3 moves meaning
Meaning
eliminate,
put you wear it to
yes.
pair it with something,
yes,
to another function, a season, a
Right, it's not
different
just a
way that
one-off.
you're gonna put it at home. If you
Mhm.
cannot make the 3 chess move with an item, don't get it.
Oh, I like that,
That's a-
I like that. Okay, in back, yes?
Would you pay full price for it?
Yeah, right,
Mm.
right. Nice one, yes. Yes,
My best friend came up with the phrase, take it for a ride. Cause I went shopping with her and I found something, I'm like, I think I'm gonna buy this. She's like, well, just take it for a ride. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, just put it in the cart,
mhm,
get everything else you need.
mhm.
And when you're done, decide if you really want it, cause it's always the immediate, like, I'm buying this now.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I call that the instant gratification
Yeah.
monkey,
Mhm.
cause that's just like,
You
you
still
buy,
get that buzz.
you get it, but it's like then like, if you don't need it in the end, like,
Yeah.
put it back, take it for a ride and then
Those-
kick it off the bus.
Those are all
Yeah.
awesome suggestions. One more,
I
yes.
have an only child, and when we're in the store and she wants something, I say, you can have it if you're willing to give one up when we get home.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
And usually she's
Yep.
like, nah, boss.
Yeah. One in, one out rule. If you wanna be super ruthless, and you haven't really gotten totally simplified, 1 in, 2 out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or for shopping, I encourage you to make a list. I make a list. I know ahead of time what I'm buying people, you know, and I try not to fall victim to that commercial machine just, you know, looking for me to go like, oh, you know, instant, you know, sort of reflex shopping. So lists help, definitely the 1 in, and I love teaching that to kids. Absolutely, you can have that, sure. So what's it gonna take the place of, yeah. Marianne?
So it makes me think my friend who is my maid of honor from Canada, and we go back like decades. I remember being in Montreal at the time, and they had a small apartment, and her closet was like this. Like everything she had, it makes me think of Paris, like what you're saying, was just beautiful.
Right.
So I think of Rada now, because I bought some nice things from her that I love, so I'm always like, oh, do I wanna spend like $20-40 on this, or, you know, save it up and buy
Right.
something that you
'Cause,
know it's gonna
yes,
look like.
The better quality things will last
Yeah.
and they look better versus like the H&M, like, you know, disposable shirt type of a
Exactly,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, cheap is cheap. Yes.
What do you think about when kids have like a Game Boy, like a Wii, and then they want the Nintendo Switch, and they have all the cartridges and everything from the first game, and you're debating whether to get him a new game and,
So they're not compatible, he wants a whole new system?
right,
I don't know. How old is he?
11.
11. I would try and exhaust, you know, all the stuff with the current system, or have a little skin in the game. All right, what are you doing, what are you willing to do to work for it? I don't know, chores, or, you know, you get birthday money, are you willing to pay for that, you know? Consider those types of things. Or, sharing. Ooh, I love the whole idea of sharing things, like sometimes, you know, you might be thinking of going camping, like, oh, I think I'm going camping, but you know, you don't wanna go buy the tent and then the family never goes camping again. So borrowing, sort of borrowing, maybe there's a way to borrow or download or some other type of, way of doing it, but, I mean, the Wii is the system, the first system, is that right, or
Right,
Nintendo?
that- He used to have regular Wii, then he got the Wii U. And so we just did that like 2 years ago, and now he wants the Nintendo Switch and all these cartridges to go with it.
I don't know, I'm not sure specifically about that, because I just don't know enough about these two things and their value or whatever, but I would just say, you know, maybe when you're 13 or when you're 15, or, you know, maybe there's a friend you can play who has that stuff, but, you know, we're sort of like, we're Apple people, we're not, you know, Windows, we're Apple, you know?
A lot of peer pressure goes with the toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have a great answer for that one.
My
Can I say
son is
something?
16, he doesn't have any game but Wii, and he wants to have some big $300, and he wants to pay, he has to work for it.
There you go.
And I still don't want him, because he's gonna be junior next year, and then that's gonna be a lot of time on front of that game. And it's just not a good idea.
Well, I do the same thing with my son, he does the paper route, so I'll make him buy it, so I said, well, if you want it bad enough, then you know what, that costs money, it costs this much money, if you can save that much money, you can buy it yourself. Sure enough, he's bought it, and guess what, he takes really good care of it, none of it's broken, we tell you that. But if we give it to them, it's broken, you know, but that's what I made him do, by his own, and
Yeah?
and when he wants something new, he said, well, Mom, how much money do I have saved up? And then he'll go buy it himself. I'm like, great, there you go.
Teaching fiscal responsibility. We're gonna keep going just because we got a lot of stuff to cover. So this one, the box stores, the big, you know, Costco supersize, giant, mega, blah, blah. You know, if you have a warehouse, these are awesome for you. Because the 40,000 pack of toilet paper, where are you gonna keep it? Like, you know, our homes, our pantries, our cupboards, they're not built to accommodate the scale of what this stuff does. So like again, you know, families that have like, you know, 7 people in the family, you know, maybe these are a good deal, but for most of my clients, or like the average family of 4, they really create problems. And problems are where to store. And when you're shoving all that stuff in your cabinets, now the stuff that, you know, now that's all back up. Now the stuff that really matters can't get in. Or you have to buy shelves and put them in the garage or down in the basement just to house this stuff. And then there's the cost of waste, because at these bad boys, you know, you gotta buy like the jumbo pack. So all of a sudden the kids are saying like, yeah, we are into maple oatmeal. So you go, you buy the 40 pack of maple oatmeal. Next week they're like, ugh, I'm so over maple oatmeal. We want smoothies or egg sandwiches now for breakfast. So now these things just die a slow, agonizing death in the back of your cupboard. You got, you know, 30 maple oatmeals. I had a client, let me see if this, oh no, I'm gonna go up. No. Sorry, hold on. This is so hard. So, like I told you, I'm solo tech. So I had a client, Laura, family of 4. They're Costco people, and we went through her pantry and stuff, took everything out, put it on the island, and portioned off all the things that were spoiled, expired, or just nobody likes them anymore. We filled 4 large green trash bags with food. She literally was almost in tears. Just the waste that happened in her own home. She was like, that's it. She and her husband are not going to Costco every week now. They have made a pact to go once a month, and they're really dialing it back. You know, you don't need like the, you know, this big thing of cereal. You know, it's just, you know, I think you probably have seen it in your own homes. It's just, Tastes change, it's normal. So try not to overcommit to big jumbo things. So I heard some oohs when I saw that. Oh yeah. So this is Joe's office, home office. He also has a small little IT consulting company, and it was his home office, it was his business office, and he used the closet in there for his overflow clothes. So just kind of doing too much stuff, right? Now, he's a very smart man. He's a very, successful guy. It's just all the destination spots were full. And so all we had to do was get rid of all the outdated, irrelevant, unused stuff and create destination space for the stuff that does matter. So that's, and
Oh my gosh.
Joe, like all my clients, had more than enough space. This was like this rockin' IKEA huge system that it was giant, and he had too much stuff. So he made a pact, two things, that we got him a 4-inch little inbox, right? Anytime it got up to 4 inches, he knew, I gotta file, I gotta put these things where they go. And he scheduled once a month on his calendar to sit in that room and really go through things. He would bring a cup of coffee and he would play music so that it wasn't such a chore. He feels so much more productive, efficient, in control in this environment. Now, wicked bonus, we found his wedding ring that he lost 6 years ago, right there. In some drawer, some random drawer, there's his wedding ring. A year after he lost it, he had to go out and buy a new one. So again, that cost of just having too much stuff, it masks things. So we were really psyched to find his wedding ring. So was his wife. So our culture. So our culture makes it so easy for us to accumulate and buy things, and it supports these habits, right? So, bigger, better, blah, blah, if 2 is good, 10 is great, right? So we're a culture of instant gratification. Somebody might have said that, any Amazon Prime members in here? I love it. But it makes it so easy. You can just get anything you want tomorrow, right? You can also just, if Facebook, if the thing is like spinning for 3 seconds, we're like ready to blow a gasket. Just so impatient. Sorry, I keep doing the wrong thing. We're also a culture of unbelievable waste. Now, I told you the story about Laura, but would anybody like to venture a guess of how much food goes to waste in America each year? Give me a percent.
Probably like 69%.
65.
All right. No, it's not higher. Those are shocking numbers. But in fact, according to the National Resources Defense Council, 41% of food in America goes uneaten every year. Now, it either spoils at its source, the field and the farms, or in the distribution channel, trains and trucks, on grocery shelves, and it spoils in our own homes, in our cupboards, cabinets, just because of overbuying and the inability to see what we have. So, hello. So all these things, the culture we are makes it so easy for us to develop these habits of buying large, buying frequently, buying too much. So we need to develop new habits. Anyone familiar with techniques or ways of creating new habits? Yes, in the back.
Trying them on vacation.
Oh, I hadn't heard that one. I like that though.
Change your environment, like if you want
Oh,
floss.
I like that.
Try flossing while you're on vacation.
Totally cool. Good, good. Anyone know of any other methods?
The only thing I know is that it takes 21 days to change your habit.
Yes. 21 days, you do the same, you do it every 21 days in a row, and apparently you'll develop a habit. So there's a guy in Wakefield who I have a lot of respect for. His name is Peter Martoni. He's a chiropractor with Atlantis Wellness. Anyone know Peter?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the best.
I'm waiting for the pillow.
Yeah, there you go. So what he says, In order to change your habits, you need to change your beliefs. That kind of really gets down to the core, the nut of it, right? So, where do we learn our beliefs? Who teaches us what we believe? Parents. Grandparents, yeah.
Ourselves.
Ourselves,
Friends.
friends, parents, community, society, right? Like as an example, so if I believe what the Dairy Council says, that milk does a body good, I will develop a habit of having milk with my cereal in the morning and maybe milk with dinner. So, we start believing this whole more is bigger and bigger is better, and then those beliefs shape our actions, and we overbuy and we buy too much and all that. So, what are some of the beliefs that you've been taught around why we hang on to stuff? Can't let that
Might
go.
need it.
Might need it.
Might be
Yes.
worth money.
Sentimental value.
Sentimental is a big one, yes. Valuable, is that what you said? Mm-hmm.
It was a gift, you don't wanna offend the giver.
Yes. Oh, yeah, these are good ones.
My father always said, oh, you might need that one day.
Right, right,
Say someday I'm gonna be poor and I won't be able to buy clothes.
right, yeah. Someday I'll lose that weight and I'll fit into those 6s again.
Right.
Yeah.
Someday
Right.
I'm gonna get fat and I'm gonna need those
Right.
12, right? Yeah.
As if.
I had $1 for every time I said
Ah.
that.
So, together, let's look at a couple of these beliefs you've been taught and consider alternate beliefs. Different ways of looking at things that will shape new habits around stuff and your relationship with stuff. Want to give it a try?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here it is. You might need it someday. So one of my favorite sayings is there's 7 days in the week and someday ain't one of them.
That's true.
Right.
All right, so an alternate belief that might make more sense is if this item is not serving you, your space, your life today, let it go. All right, so this works for things like, oh, maybe the 14 flashlights you have at home, all over the place. You know, maybe you really need 2. I don't know if someday you'll need all of them. Or all those extra guest pillows. I have clients who have really generous linen closets, and the top 2 shelves are filled with like 6, 7 guest pillows in case a guest comes someday. So if it's not serving you, your space, your life today, let it go. You can always get it in this day and age, Amazon Prime, if you find you really honest to God need it. So keep thinking that little mantra, if it's not serving me, my life or space, get it out. It's still in good shape. Someone can use it. Marianne, that's a perfectly good share. Do you want it? No. You don't want it? That is perfectly good. That thing was built of oak. It is built to outlast all of us. Right? So, maybe an alternate belief is if it did its job, it served its purpose, let it go. If it's just sitting down there in the basement collecting spiders, it's the last one standing of the set of 4, your tastes have changed, you don't like it, you're not going to use it, donate it. Somebody could use that chair. Let somebody use it now. All right? Thank you for doing your job. What more can we ask from a chair, right? It costs a lot, gotta keep it. I would like to suggest that expensive does not equal valuable. Here's our new belief. The value of an item is what value it brings to you, what value it adds to your life. It could cost 12 cents, and it is the most amazing thing you've ever had. You use it every day. You can't imagine life without this 12-cent thing. That thing is valuable. Or it costs $4,000. It's there in the corner of your bedroom. You don't use it. It's just collecting clothes. And it constantly is reminding you of the fact that you're not using it and you dropped $4 grand on me. Who needs that kind of negative drag? Okay? Can anybody think of examples of some of these expensive items that,
Exercise equipment.
yeah.
I'll admit it.
Yep, yeah. Bread maker, anybody? The bread maker that everybody had to have? What is it?
The paninis.
The panini maker, yeah. There's so many examples. So if it is really valuable and in good shape, try and sell it. Or donate it. But just glomming on to things that cost a lot and serve no purpose, it just doesn't make sense. Somebody made it for you, gave it to you, it's sentimental, you have to keep it. I totally get it. Like, we're sentimental people, we have big hearts, we tend to associate people with things, or things with people. But, may I suggest that it is the gesture, the sentiment, the thought behind the person giving you a gift, the feeling you felt when you received it. That's what matters. The thing in the box, whatever it is, that doesn't matter at all. And people who believe this, like, lead much happier lives. They're able to remember and cherish and keep all that sentiment, feeling, and intention without attaching it to the thing. You'd be better off to donate the thing. Let somebody who really needs it use it, because you don't like that frame that says diva in like rhinestones. It's just not you. So I'd like to challenge you all. I had one. I gave it away. Yeah. I don't know why Nancy gave it to me. But go home tonight. Find something in a drawer or in the bowels of some closet that somebody gave to you. You're never gonna use it. And just take a moment and just remember. That memory will stay with you always. That's what matters. And donate the thing. Yes?
I have a good idea. There's things like, that your kids bring home from school and you get all those things and I now take a picture of them, so I'll always have it as a memory and I don't have to keep the thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank
someone
God for
said that.
iPhones.
Yeah, someone told me the same thing.
Yep.
Take a picture of it.
Keep a little album. This one's Jenny's, this one's Chris's. Or what I suggest to a lot of people is have a gallery wall, like in your kitchen or something. The galleries don't keep things, forever. They have this week all your stuff is up, then we take it down and recycle it or whatever, and then the next stuff is up. There are some things that you definitely want to keep for your kids. A bin, something like this, is enough. Because do any of you remember your mom just loading up a bunch of boxes on your doorstep saying, "Here, hon, I saved these 19 boxes of all your schoolwork for you." Nobody wants it, right? And again, all that stuff, all the stuff that, happens, what really matters is sort of the end result, like graduated from high school, the diploma, that's what matters. Not all the work and the notebooks and the textbooks and all that kind of stuff. What are we saving that for? That's irrelevant. That was just sort of the lead up to, the diploma.
What about pictures?
Photographs?
Photographs.
Oh man, that's such a big one. There are so many companies right now who will curate them and put them on a thumb drive or make a very nice album for them, put them on a CD disc. It's rather expensive, but what are you going to do with those things? What I tell people sometimes is it's the last thing we will ever tackle together, usually. They got to build that chuck muscle big time in the kitchen and the garage before we ever go to photographs, because they are so sentimental. But that's a really good winter project, like all those snowy days, you schedule, I'm going down there, I'm spending an hour, got a glass of Chardonnay, I'm going down there, and I'm just gonna go small bites, or you get foot surgery, so then have your husband just bring up a box a day and you go through it. But it's a big effort, and just quit taking pictures. Just do it on your phone now and put them in the cloud. But it's time. It's a lot of time. I kind of like those boxes. You can get them at Christmas tree shop for like $0.99 practically, and they have the little dividers. I like those personally better than albums. I think they fit more and they're easy to store, so that might be some way. Yes. All right. Oh, I'll fix it, I'll mend it, I'll reupholster it, I'll put that button back on. Yeah. You probably won't. And projects like these, they just tend to pile up, and then they add to clutter, and then they make you feel bad every time you walk by the pile, like, you are gonna fix me. So again, more negative drag coming in. The world out there is tough enough, guys. Don't bring it in and give yourself all sorts of negative drag. So, does anybody know who Marie Kondo is?
Yep.
Who? Okay, Rod, who is she?
She's a world-renowned organizer that has an incredible system and wrote numerous books, which is I read.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yep, she's a
Pretty
Japanese
impressive.
organizer. Her first book was,
Japanese, yeah.
yes, her first book was The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Her second book is Spark Joy. She's a little out there, but I do like some things that she says, and one of them is this type of a situation. She believes that when something breaks, tears, falls apart, it's as if the universe is saying, I'm done. I have given you all I have to give. I'm worn out, I'm exhausted, get me on life support, I'm out. So just consider that, you know, things are not meant to last forever. And if that gray sweater blows through the elbow, you know what, you probably got another 2 or 3 gray sweaters to replace it. And if not, go on Amazon. So, you know, just have Marie Kondo, it's the universe saying, thank you, thank it for its service, and then move it on. So there are 5 kind of keys to simplifying that I thought I would go over with you as you are looking to embark on your path, your journey of simplifying. And really, like with so many things, the why is so much more important than the how. Like, why? Why do you want to have less in your life? Why do you want to have, you know, simplify? Why do you want to have less? That really makes things sustainable. That's kind of that underlying tenet. It's so much more compelling than just the how. Now, some common reasons that I've heard from people's why. A client of mine, Maureen, she wanted to simplify her life and declutter because she wanted to feel proud and have people over her house. She wanted to entertain. She hadn't done it for years because things have gotten kind of out of control. Some people want to do it to create more harmony in their life because they and their significant other argue about clutter. 48% of American couples living together argue about clutter. So harmony. You know, for me, I wanted to get healthier and I wanted to be really more present. That was kind of the underlying thing for me. More presence with relationships, with my mother, because, you know, she was alone. And so that was really my kind of driving why. Can anybody think of any other kinds of whys that might be good examples?
Save time.
Save time. Yes. Be more efficient. Save time. How about save money?
Start fresh.
Yes. January coming up. It's such a nice time to start fresh after the holiday blast. Less is not nothing. Again, it doesn't mean that you, again, just either live in a tiny house or just with a pencil, a chair, and a table. You decide. This is where that enough thing comes in. You decide what's enough for you, your life, your family. And if things are useful and beautiful, then have them in your life. But everything else, get out of my way. Okay, the number 3. So, small, continual progress is always better than fast and furious. And I like to say that there's no period at the end of organizing or simplifying. I continue to go back and revisit areas And my criteria is always much more ruthless each time I go back. So consider it more like a journey, a process, an adventure, a lifestyle versus a task. Small progress is still progress. I think I told you some people will, maybe you'd spend 30 minutes on a couple of drawers, get yourself a glass of wine, or now you get to go work out or go for a walk. Celebrate those small steps because it's like if you wanted to run a marathon, you're gonna go out first day and run 26 miles? I think not. You'll probably run a mile and then like, whoa, my God, I ran a mile. The next day, mile and a half. So small steps and celebrate. And then holding on is harder than letting go. Courtney Carver said that. Look her up sometime. She's pretty amazing. Courtney Carver, Courtney Carver. Be more with less is her thing. And what she says is that holding on, you have to hold on every day with your time, with your money, with moving it and making accommodations and working around it. You only let go once, and it's so much easier than you even think. Holding on is hard. And then what do you get when you simplify? Well, how much time do we have? Because I could go on for years about this. But clarity. You start to become really clear on not only what's important and what you want in your life, but who and how much time you'll spend doing things, how much time you'll waste. Everything becomes so much more clear. And space, obviously, the less stuff you have, the clearer your space is, and the more all that good chi can just kind of fly around and bring good things to you. Health. Almost without exception, people who live a more simplified life are healthier. They become a little more mindful about what they eat and how they move their body and what kind of stress they do or don't allow into their lives. You just become, it's healthier. Presence, I think we've talked about that. Presence, especially for me, I was able to be so much more present. When your space and your time and everything isn't cluttered, you're really able to focus better. And, sort of put down the phone or stop, you don't have to crab up at the kids about picking up the playroom because it's easier now and it doesn't take as much time. So consider that. And then relationships, you're more present with relationships, and you're also able to have the right relationships in your life, the ones that are aligned with who you are and how you want your life to be. And you have time to reconnect. I did so much reconnecting with people I drifted from. It was so amazing. And then joy. One of my clients, Olivia, she was so way down. She lives in a 2-bedroom condo in Malden, I think it is. And we've been working for months on her just sort of downsizing and getting things to what was just enough for her. And now she's like a new woman. I mean, she is doing yoga now. She's doing work for her church. She adopted 2 little black kitties. She joined 2 book clubs. Like, she's finding so many other things in life that bring her joy, whereas before she was just managing all the stuff in her place. And then appreciation. The less you have, the better quality things you have. You use them more. You appreciate them more. They don't get lost sort of in the clutter of things that don't matter. It's good stuff. So, kind of back to the beginning, figuring out what is enough. What's enough for you, your family, your business, your life. And that's, I hope I've been able to show you sort of through my own journey and glimpses of what some of my clients have experienced, just what opportunities exist for you when you define what's enough. And this is really the work I do with my clients. It's not just like, oh, let's put this bin on this shelf. It's really getting down to, so what is enough? What is enough? And So I also have something that I want to take a bunch more questions, but I also want to invite you to further your journey a little bit more with What's Enough. And I'm going to be having a simplified 3-step challenge. And I want to make it available to everybody here in the room. And all you need to do is, if you want to pop out your phones now, pop on to Simplify with Eileen for 2 secs. And when you go onto my website, a pop-up comes up which says join my newsletter. Anybody who joins my newsletter tonight from this group, I will make this simplified 3-step challenge available to you at no charge. And it's fun, and it's interactive. It's going to show you some steps and give you some practice on ways that you can start simplifying your life. You'll see real results and real success. Does anybody need the Wi-Fi password?
It should pop up.
Yep, it's a little thing that says pop up, yep. Just put your email in and I will send you all the material for the simplified 3-step challenge. If anybody doesn't have their phone or whatever, you can do it when you go home too. Just make sure you do it by the end of today to be eligible for that for no charge. Done? All right. I appreciate so much all your interaction. And what other either questions you have or successes that you've had on your own that you want to share or challenges? Yes.
So I have a question about email.
Email.
So I used to have this obsession with like cleaning out my inbox or organizing it. But the reality is you get a million emails, or I try to unsubscribe from things I know I don't need to read or join.
Yep.
Do you, so now I'm trying this thing where like, I respond to email or I don't read email and 6 months goes by, just fill my inbox, I just get a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
Sometimes what I do,
Blows up, like,
sometimes what I do, I find the easiest way to cull through that is to sort it by sender. And if you see like a whole bunch of things from Banana Republic, start, finish, delete. I think it's easier, at least for me and some of my clients, to do it by sender, that versus date. But yeah, I'm a big fan of folder management, and you can even do things that come from certain people that are super important that you want to jump out. You can color code them. So try those types of things, but like anything, stay on top of it as much as you can and try and do it like on a weekly basis. Again, maybe you just, sit there, turn on some Christmas carols, and every Tuesday at 7, maybe, your husband's at hockey or something, so you're like, this is my cleanup email time. Yeah, good one. Technology is supposed to help us so much and it becomes a burden. Yeah.
I think Gmail has that you can sort primary, important, social, advertisement, so they automatically go in those files as they come in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I do, I get 3,000 emails.
Yeah, I unsubscribe like nobody's business too.
So the big challenge in my house is paper, unfortunately, because I have 2 elementary school-age children, and they bring paper home like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And they need some acknowledgement, recognition, and there's stuff to sign.
Yes.
And then we have the mail, and then we have whatever. So, and my husband would have loved this, because so he is the you, and I am not. We'll just say that.
Okay. Yeah.
So we have worked out many systems. So I would love your top tips on paper management for a family of 4.
Yep.
We have enough space. We have
Do you have a command center?
periodical holder things. I've tried
Ooh,
a
I
couple
love those.
things.
I love those.
Yeah. So, but it still doesn't work, because what happens is the thing that the bill or the permission slip gets left out on the counter still because you need to act on it right away. So what is I think that's my big thing, is the actionable items that need to be taken care of in the next couple of days. What is the best way to handle some of that?
All right, so if you do have the space, there could be I'm big about vertical, wall space.
Yeah.
So get a little like clippy thing or something and like, and have it be like red or something, like these are the things that, you know, this week are happening, so they don't get lost. Anything that's horizontal, oh, forget it, anything that's on top of it, who knows what's underneath.
Right.
So maybe on the wall, do you kind of have like a family command center, like calendar and
We
things?
have a count, like every Sunday I sit down, I do the calendar for the week with the activities and the blah blah, and then we have the cubby things.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets sorted, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes, you know, it's just.
Yep. Listen,
But the
life.
importance, I mean, how many times has my husband been like, how long has this bill been sitting on the counter?
Okay, so bills. So who does the bills? You or your husband?
Oh, he does.
He does. Does he have an office where he does bills?
No.
Okay.
It's like very virtual, well, half of it is virtual, but some things still come with like a statement or whatever.
Yeah, definitely do as
It's
much
not
as
a
you
good
can paperless, especially like, you know, the electric bill, just like have that thing paid just
A lot of
automatically.
that is like
Yeah.
that, but
So-
there's certain town stuff,
Mhm.
you know, it's like notification, things that you need to act on.
Yeah, so like when I get bills in, I'm the one who does bills in my family. When they come in, I have like my little home office and I have it's a small little 3-tier sorter. It's really small, like it's like for envelopes. And I take it out, I see, okay, it's due on December 15th, so I'm gonna pay it on December 10th, because I hate late fees.
Right.
So, that's what I write on the outside of the envelope. Due in the bottom corner, December 15th, pay December 10th, and I put it in this sorter, and I put them all in order. So my pays are December 10th, December 12th, December 28th, December 30th. So I never miss. So that little sorter thing, whoever touches that bill, you know, it's like the hot potato, but if you touch it, by God, open it, do the system, do and pay, and put it in the right thing.
I like the idea of like flagging it.
Yeah.
Like a little.
Yeah.
I have most of my bills taken automatically out of my checking account.
Yeah, so do
don't
I, yeah,
think about it.
yeah. The more you can do that, the better. It's so, you'll always see the statement, like nothing's really gonna get away from you.
Right.
Yes, oh, sorry, yes,
What if you're super organized, but your spouse?
right, okay, I get this every single time. The best you can do is lead by example, inspire, show them the better way. So, and start small, like start with common areas like the kitchen, like, okay, everybody, like water bottles all here. Anybody need a water bottle? Anybody, anytime, right here. And see how much easier it is, you guys, you got out the door. So start small and inspire. And
I literally just loaded the stuff in his car, and it's still in there.
yeah, so it's his stuff in his car. You know, we can't want something more for somebody than they want for themselves.
Yeah.
It holds true in every part of life. So the best you can hope is, again, shove it in his car, shut the door, not my problem. I don't have to look at it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's with like the teenage kids, like if there's a door on the bedroom, you know, unless there's like food spoiling in there, but just let them, you know, be in their squalor, you know, you do your best. But inspire, lead by example.
We had a system when my kids were growing up that if their rooms got too bad, we would go in with the mop. And I warned them that the mop was coming. And everything under the bed, all around the entire room, I didn't care if it was food, earrings, jewelry,
Yeah.
clothes, I didn't care what it was.
Yeah.
Everything went into a pile in the middle of the room. And they had to clean it or they could not go to their hockey game, their baseball game, their whatever.
Yeah.
They weren't going anywhere
Yeah.
until it was done, because it just got to be way too much.
Yeah, because then it becomes like sort of like, you know, respect, like
And they
respect
can't
yourself,
find
respect the
anything.
house.
Yeah, they couldn't find it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I think you had a question, did you?
I just wanted to share something. When I was like 7 or 8, I was at a friend's house and I remember her mother screaming at her because she didn't put like the nail clippers where they were supposed to be. And I just remember her screaming at her saying, everything has a place. And if you put it back where it's supposed to be, you'll always know where it is. And I was 7. And I remember that my whole life, and I've taught that to my kids, and I have that. And my kids are, because I've said it, put it back where it belongs.
Right.
And so they put everything where it belongs, and they're like that too. And so when they go find something, they're like, well, if it wasn't there, then we don't, you know.
Right.
and they have learned to be organized, I guess.
I mean, it helps them, cause then they're not like freaking out, like heading to school, Mom, where's the thing, where's the thing?
You say,
Yeah.
where does it
Right,
go?
yeah, so I mean, yes, very good, yes.
Yeah.
I've also just
Thank you.
learned to adjust my expectations. I live with my boyfriend and his kids, and I feel like I can't really tell them what to do all the time. So I've created systems, and
Mhm.
I've told them, you don't have to put your stuff where I put it, but if you are ever missing it, just look in the place. Like, we have baskets for our shoes. I said, I don't care if you leave your shoes around, but when you need your shoes, this is where they're gonna be.
Right.
And they're totally cool with that,
Yeah.
instead of like, you're telling us where to put it.
Right, and again, just lead, inspire, guide, show them the better way. Rhonda?
I have a suggestion here that I use a lot. It's called, a lot of these apps are really great. I use Jot Not.
Jot Not?
N-O-T.
One more time, I'm sorry?
Jot Not. J-O-T-M-O-T.
Okay.
So some of us that run our own businesses and a household, then it becomes incredibly difficult to find things that we need. I will scan an invoice, purchase order, bill, whatever it is, and I can change it in my phone by date or by name. And
Cool.
and any given time, everything is right here available. I can reprint it and look it up.
Thank you for sharing that, that's
So
cool.
that's like my lifesaver for me.
What if I think you had a question?
And if you scan a document, you just aim it and you scan it, and I can, all of my orders by shows, by days, Jot Not.
Yeah, Jot Not,
It's
scan,
really-
yes.
Now, what if your spouse feels like you get rid of too much stuff? Like, I give them 2 days, if it's still sitting there, it's gone. Like, I don't like stuff.
Right,
My
right.
daughter's paperwork that she comes home, like, I immediately look at it, throw it in the recycle bin. Like, I
Mhm.
don't like things lying around.
Right.
And my husband's constantly like, leave that there. And I'm like, listen, if it's there in 2 days, it's gone.
We know the rules, people. I'm kind of the CEO of this household, sorry.
So he's like,
I am.
you're absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous. He's like, you throw so much stuff away. I'll go shop and I'll find a blouse that I like, and I'll go home and I'm like, oh, well, I'll replace it with this one, and I throw the other one in Goodwill. And he's like, you're constantly throwing things away. You're wasteful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's wasteful if you're recycling things and you're donating things. I mean, let's face it.
Can you be too like OCD?
Yes, you can. So, I mean, it's hard when we're living with other people in the house. It's just, it's hard. So there has to be sort of some kind of meeting of the mind. So, I don't know, honey, would a 3-day stay of execution would sound better than the 2?
But it's
Or-
like I'm married to someone who thinks that, after you've emptied a pill bottle, oh, I'm gonna save this. I could probably put like bolts in it. Really?
Yeah. How about we put bolts in what bolts belong in?
I don't need it, and you don't need it, and I
Yeah.
toss it, and then
Right.
I think he doesn't notice it, and then days later, he's like, where the ball go? I'm like,
I don't
2
know.
days, it's gone.
Yeah. I think, if you're clear about what the rules are, I think if you're clear,
But then I
if
feel
you
bad,
guys,
I'm like,
but if you guys are miles apart, maybe there's a little bit of way of meeting in the middle, or just on some things, like, I don't know, I'm like you, but my husband is,
I don't like stuff.
I don't either. And I think there was a question.
With mail, I
Thank you.
find, I take it, I go stand right over the barrel,
Mhm.
the recycling bin. If it's not something I need, it goes right in that
Yep.
recycling bin, and that way it's not, and the bills go to the office, because I found we would have piles, and then you'd be missing the things that you needed.
Right, the
And-
things that matter get clouded by the things that don't.
And anything that's for school, if it needs to be signed, just sign it and be done, and send it
Shove it back in the backpack, okay,
And
we're
now,
good.
cause it would be
Yeah.
too much. If we
Yeah.
have the bins, and it would be the end of the year, and it'd be so much stuff in the bins, that it was just a waste, it was just there that whole
Yeah,
time.
right, yeah. And having that, like, when we walk into our mud room, the recycling is right there, so like, it doesn't even go in the house. It's still in the mud room, not even in the house, unless it's worthy. Yes?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of paranoid as far as like my papers that has my name and address and stuff on it. So there's a lot of stuff that I wanna throw away. I don't have a shredder, and I'm like, oh, I'll buy a shredder. So I'll set it here and I put it there, and then it just keeps piling up, and then all of a sudden I'm
Do
moving it
not
from
buy a
one spot,
shredder.
and then
Do not buy a shredder. You've heard it here.
why?
First of all, the pile. Now you're gonna create a pile to be shredded.
Yeah.
And then you shred it, and it's like, and it gets jammed, and you get the butter knife, and they have to unplug it, and then you take it out, and then everything spills, and then it gets too hot, so it has to rest. Ugh. 99 cents, go to Staples, 99 cents a pound. Just go.
They'll
I think
shred it?
They'll shred it.
Oh, really?
Yes, right
All
there.
right, that's good to
They have the
know.
shred bins. And there's a place in Salem,
Yeah,
right?
free.
Free. Yeah, Marion, where's that? Is like on Canal Street or something?
Probably if you Google.
Yeah,
shredding.
free shredding in
I think it's for
Salem,
the
Mass.
town only,
Really?
but they don't
Yeah,
have.
they're not looking at license or registration. But honestly, those shredders are, ugh.
My
Yes.
sister-in-law sent me this little gizmo pen,
Oh, yes.
which, and
Yes.
I'm not sure where, I'm sure you can probably buy it at
That's nice,
Staples.
Yes.
And
you can buy a
I use
stamp
black
as well.
marker sometimes,
Yeah.
but if it's like really, and we do have a shredder, but, yeah, so you can just like mark over it. It's a
Bed Bath
special-
and Beyond has these things at the register too. It's like a crosshatch black thing.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, and I think other people will tell you, if it just has just your name and address on it,
It's public
don't worry.
information.
It's public information. They can find that anywhere. That cannot affect your identity. That's public. They can 411 you. They can look at a yellow. You're in there. So if it's just your name and address with not an account number or anything else, just recycle it, because otherwise you'll go crazy. Yes.
We were thinking of scanning everything and getting rid of all the paper, but then now that you mentioned the shredder, does that add another dynamic?
I mean, scanning everything or scanning like what?
So vendors we use, instead of keeping their invoices, just scanning it in, so if you need to look.
Can't
them
they
up
send you
next
their
week,
invoices electronically?
Not everybody does that.
As much as you can do, but yeah, scanning, yeah, I mean, yeah, if you have the time and somebody to scan, or you do it just real time, that's even better. Don't batch, do it real time. 5 seconds, I am like, if I had something like that to do, the thing came in, I'm holding it, I'm thinking about scanning it, I'm gonna friggin' scan it, just scan it. Instead of like batching it in piles to be something and staging it, like, oy. So sometimes just take 5 seconds. Everybody's got 5 seconds, just do it. Yes?
We all work at the Duxbury Credit Union, but we offer shredded days
Oh, yeah.
for the whole
Yeah.
town. You don't even have to be a member.
Nice.
So you can, I think there's a lot of other institutions that offer that a couple times a year.
Sometimes like the
for free.
boosters or the boys band or whatever, they'll do shred days too. Those are awesome. Thank you, that's a great idea. Thank you. Marika?
I just want to share with you, I was one of the people that invited Eileen to my house. And I am a fashionista, I love clothes. And so I had her help me with my jackets and coats closet. It was phenomenal because just like she mentioned, and just like we know, we find these treasures in the store, we cherish them, we love them, and we have a hard time to get rid of them. And Eileen was so good, like she literally went with me, we set up the separate rack, we put everything out, she helped me how to put it back, how to organize it better. So she's really huge help. So if you have any doubts about her, I want to just encourage you to use her services because she's phenomenal.
Thank you,
So I love you
Marika.
for that.
Thank you. Mwah. You're a sweetheart. Thank you, thank you.
Coat and jacket closet,
Mhm.
just for that.
You know,
Yeah,
coats,
you know,
coat closet,
when you
coat
enter
closet.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I have 2 jackets.
Oh, listen.
But everybody's got their thing too, like, ooh, some people it's sheets, some people it's shoes, or bags, or office supplies, like everybody's got their thing. Yes?
What do you do if you have gained a little weight and you know that you wanna get back into that size, and in the meantime, you're in a different size?
Yep.
And, you know, you don't wanna get rid of all the things, cause you're really gonna be back in that size.
Here's my advice, because I have been there as well. I've been a size 2 and I've been a size 12. And Weight Watchers even says this, I go to Weight Watchers. Love who you are right now. Completely love own, accept who you are right now, and keep the clothes that support that, because to have a whole set of skinny inspiration clothes, and then which is negative drag, it's saying, hey, you know, you can't fit into me. Maybe someday you will. I don't know if I trust you. And then have all these fat clothes just in case I do get a little bit fatter. And again, they're saying, hey, I'm gonna be here just in case you're gonna fall off, you know, the wagon and you're gonna get fat. So now you have 3, a wardrobe that's tripled, right? Now, there might be a few things like, ooh, that favorite, ooh, that dress, I love it, I'm gonna get back into it, I'm one size away. Okay, but what normally ends up happening too is once you do drop the LBs, you're like, I'm gonna go buy something that looks contemporary and fabulous on me, you know? So please resist the temptation to, you know, have all these what if and some days, even in your closet. Keep a few for, you know, inspiration stuff, but chances are you're just gonna be like, I'm not wearing that old thing. I'm a 6 now.
When I'm styling people, I tell them, get rid of it, because when you do lose that weight, reward yourself for hard work that you've done.
Yeah.
And you might even change your mind and your style by then.
You might change your hair and all of a sudden like that doesn't look good with red hair. You know?
Unless you have like Gucci trench coat or something incredibly high-end, keep it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what.
Yeah. Live for today. Have things in your space that supports you, your life today. That's just sort of like, well, okay, I'll stop preaching, but yeah. Thank you guys so much. I think you were Thank you. So good. I appreciate it.